body chasing the truth.
So Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers have been under a lot of pressure lately. A lot of people are calling for Mike Tomlin to be fired. Now here's the issue that I have with this. Until somebody tells me who directly picks the personnel for the Steelers, Mike Tomlin should keep his job. If Mike Tomlin didn't bring in George Pickens or want to draft George Pickens, he should not lose his job. Bill Parcells, a legendary coach, once said, "You want me to cook the meal, but you want somebody else to buy the ingredients." So you see where I'm going. This has nothing to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers win last night, and I'm going to tell you why. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow did not play for the Bengals. So even though the Steelers needed this win to advance, to try to make it to the playoffs, you can't put too much stock in this, even though it was Blitzburgh football, the type of football that I love, that the Steelers play. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith were relentless all night. They both picked up a sack each. TJ Watt had a forced fumble, and Alex Highsmith had a pick. If it wasn't for them applying this type of pressure all night, the Steelers do not win this football game. So let's get into the video.
Browning just always under control. Another screen just dumps it out to the outside as we get set with this Pittsburgh defense. And only more than 20 once.
Mason Rudolph in the shotgun.
Through the year, hoping this is the game to turn around.
Hits Pickens on a slant. He beats the safety. He's at the 35. He's at the 40. He's going to beat the linebacker. Nothing but open space in front of him. And George Pickens will score. Touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers.
6 yards.
Just a quick stat. No Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback has thrown over 250 yards and 2 touchdowns since Ben Roethlisberger. So Mason Rudolph did that last night. And those are average numbers. Those aren't even fantastic numbers. Those are numbers that you can win with. So let's go from there.
This is a beautiful
Safety takes a bad angle, and he's gone. He hits that seam, and boom.
I mean, he just ran away from the Bengal defenders. George Pickens has been under fire a little bit this week, taking a lot of criticism. What a way for him to start.
You know, he's taken criticism that he deserves. The film doesn't lie. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. And when your teammate is running the football and you just say, "Hey, I don't want to block because I don't want to get hurt," it shows your true character and your integrity. It's easy for everybody to jump on the bandwagon and say, "Oh, you know, let's forgive George Pickens." No, I want to see him play 2 whole seasons and have nothing but tape on him, giving it his best effort before I welcome George Pickens as a Steeler. He has nobody to blame but himself for that perception that people have of him. I'm really sick and tired of the media, the Pittsburgh media, kissing his butt. And the same thing with the so-called captains of the Steelers. I would love to see George Pickens pull this stunt with somebody like Greg Lloyd back in the day. I guarantee you George Pickens wouldn't be acting like this with Greg Lloyd on the team because he'd be in fear for his life if he acted like this.
What a way for Mason Rudolph to start right out of the gate for the Steelers.
Todd, you mentioned it for Rudolph. He had started in the past with his team, but really the only holdovers from the last time he was getting legitimate action.
Browning back to throw it. He's under pressure. He's getting chased by Hayward and TJ Watt to the back of the end zone. Picked off Patrick Peterson.
It's the veteran Patrick Peterson with the takeaway.
You know, if you look at that shot of Cam Hayward, I heard some comments that people thought he looked out of shape. For all of anybody that doesn't know, Cam Hayward had a hernia surgery 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's trying to work his way back into shape, but he's out there and he's giving it all. You know, George Pickens should learn a lesson from Mr. Hayward. That's what leadership does. They put it on the line for their teammates.
Farmouth, who had his best game of the season against Cincinnati, the motion man on 3rd down. Rudolph lets it go, and it's a lot of space for Jaylen Warren. Turns on the burners, and he's deep in Cincinnati.
You know, I really like Jaylen Warren. He reminds me of Pacheco from the Chiefs. He brings a different element because he's super explosive. He blocks, great pass catching back out of the backfield. Now, I like Najee Harris and I know they got to switch it up a bit. Najee Harris is obviously a different type of back, 250 pounds, straight up the middle. But I think that Jaylen Warren needs to get majority of the carries because he offers more big play. He's super explosive, and he could take it from 1 to 100 yards at any given time, every time he touches the football. I like to see Warren be the feature back.
Cincinnati territory dragged down by Logan Wilson. Looking to put his team up 2 scores in this first quarter.
Najee Harris takes a hand up straight up the middle. He's at the 10, down at the 6-yard line.
Cincinnati looking for another stand here on 2nd and goal.
Now watch this block by Jaylen Warren. Boom! That's a linebacker that he put on his butt. Now he's blocking for Pickens this week, and Pickens didn't block for him last week. Actually, it's Tavon Austin, excuse me.
These blocks right here, and then
watch this block
by Jaylen Warren. Austin's got the speed, but watch those 3 guys block on the perimeter.
Boom.
Jaylen Warren knocks his man completely on
the
ground.
That's a linebacker.
3rd and 11. Here comes Watt. Got a hand on him.
TJ Watt relentless all night with the sack.
Ball comes out, and Cincinnati has it back.
That's his 17th sack of the season. He leads the league. He's been playing hurt. He forced a fumble. George Pickens, again, learn from guys that have character, integrity, and leadership. Tune in, George, because at the press conference last night after the game, you still didn't show a drop of humility. It was, you acted like you didn't do anything wrong, that it was all everybody else's fault, blah, 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 blah. Chase Claypool, Antonio Brown, now we got George Pickens, and the list will go on and on if somebody other than Tomlin keeps picking these types of players.
He is 1 touchdown away from becoming the 6th Bengal in history with 60 in his career. Play action pass. Browning going to feel it from Highsmith.
Browning feeling the pressure from Highsmith. Picked off again. Interception. Eric Rowe with the pick. Goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Robinson, the motion man. Harris, the handoff.
Najee finally punches one in. The thing with Najee is he looks like he's not picking up yardage, but every time he touches that ball, he's getting 4 or 5 yards. It doesn't look like it, but he's so big and powerful, and we run straight up the middle. Hey, look, I'll take 4 or 5 yards every play. So I'm not saying that Najee Harris is washed up. He's just a different type of back than Jaylen Warren. But I'm always going to go with the more explosive guy that can go with the big play threat, than the guy that's going to grind it out. Now, hey, if we're up, if the Steelers are up and they need to grind out the clock and you want to give Najee Harris 15, 20 carries in a row, I get it. But until we get a better quarterback, it needs to be big play all the time, or as many big plays as you can get.
5th of the year for Najee Harris. He's a downhill runner. Knee is down there.
It's just a matter of where the ball was.
Browning to throw.
Under pressure again. And that's 4th and inches. Big play in the game right there.
And it's Porter again in coverage. Turnover on downs.
At LSU in their national championship season.
Mason Rudolph in the shotgun. He's looking for Pickens. Now this is a beautiful catch by Pickens. I got to give it to him. I don't know how he got his feet in there. That's a great catch. If we could just put Hines Ward mind inside George Pickens, it'd be all right.
Rudolph looking sideline for Pickens again.
Boom.
Dropped it in the bucket.
To the 10, to the 5, touchdown, George Pickens.
Touchdown.
Beautiful, dropped it right in.
You go for a low percentage throw, but with this guy,
Corner's got to get his hands on him before he gets off the line of scrimmage.
Rouzier in coverage. Beautiful throw by Rudolph.
Browning.
Feeling
the pressure, he goes down.
Sack Alex Highsmith, bringing the heat. Blitzburg football all night long.
They let Browning let it loose a bit. 2nd and 19. Deep drop for Browning. Steps up in the pocket. Fire.
Oh, picked off. Alex Highsmith, beautiful interceptions. Instead of rushing the passer, drops back in coverage 12 yards down the field and picks it off. We're going full Dick LeBeau.
3rd and 6. Browning feeling the pressure.
Sacked again.
Another sack for the Steelers.
Miles Jack with the sack. So, again, I'm not saying that Tomlin shouldn't be fired. but I need to know who's picking these players. And if it's not Mike Tomlin, I got a real issue with Mike Tomlin getting fired. TJ Watt came out this week, and a lot of people say, "Oh, he's just going to defend the coach." No, I don't believe that. He says that that Mike Tomlin goes into all the meeting rooms, gets the guys prepared as well as he can. And it came from TJ Watt's mouth that more than half the team doesn't want to show up to practice and give it all he has. What can Mike Tomlin do? He can't bench the entire team. I mean, I guess he could, but it's all about wins. If those guys behind those guys, the first string guys, are so bad where you're going to get blown out of the game, he's going to get fired anyway. So he's kind of in a no-win situation. So it boils down to who brings the personnel in. Who brings the guys in with character and integrity? Who brings the guys in? And if it ain't Tomlin, I have a real problem firing the guy. Football is simple. It's blocking. It's tackling. You could have a million different plays, but if you don't have the guys executing those plays to the best of their ability, your playbook doesn't matter. So until I get to the bottom of who picks the personnel, I can't be on board with firing Mike Tomlin.